Okay, so I just filmed a Q&A whilst doing my makeup and it did not actually record, which is really, really annoying. So I'm going to go through the questions I just answered. I did a Q&A on Instagram, and I thought that there was a lot of questions in there that were really good and that could be helpful for other people, and so I wanted to refilm it because I was like, there's too many good questions in here that could help a lot of people. But I firstly have a bit of a cold, that's why my voice sounds a bit funny. But also the lighting's being really, really weird. So I'm just gonna start answering these questions again. I got like halfway through this video, so there's some questions that I've not thought about, but the first few questions I have already answered. So the first question was, is there a place you have in mind you want to travel to this year? Being totally honest, no. If you've watched my videos before, you know I have agoraphobia, which is I get more anxious when I leave my comfort zone. So I've got a comfort zone of my flat that probably reaches maybe like, I don't know, 10 minutes walking distance either side of my flat. I want to gradually expand that, and that was what I did in 2019. Me and my dad went uptown in the car quite often to try and kind of like make myself more used to it, and it really worked because the start of 2019 I was really like, oh my god, we're in town, shit, I want to go home. But the end of 2019 I was literally walking about town just like a regular person, and so I know that if you keep like pushing the smaller goals, then they will eventually become more comfortable, and I feel much more comfortable doing that. I did a few years ago try to just be like, fuck anxiety, let's just get in the car, and we booked like a lodge, me and my dad, that was like 3 hours away in the car, and we went up and it was a disaster. I had one of the worst panic attacks I've ever had, and we had to leave after about 10 minutes. So I'm all about gradual small goals, and I don't feel ready to get on a plane or anything like that yet. Who knows, I also, you know, if I magically get on a plane and go somewhere really far away, then that would be great, but I'm not, I like to do things small and gradual. The next question I got is, what are your favourite books? I really like Matt Haig in every sense of that sentence. I absolutely adore Matt Haig. I think he is just, he's a genius. He's just a plain, simple genius, and I think that he's just really, really kind and amazing, and I loved his book Notes on a Nervous Planet, which I read last year. That was absolutely amazing, and if you are somebody with anxiety and panic, which I imagine you probably are if you're watching this video, if you watch my channel, he did a really good book, Notes on a Nervous Planet, which I really, really loved. I'm going to have a wee Diet Coke, I've just seen them. My boyfriend for Christmas got me 30 cans of Diet Coke. He also got me other things. I don't want him to watch this and be like, I got you more than 30 cans of Diet Coke. But that was one of my presents because I'm an addict. Also, I really enjoyed reading, fiction-wise, I really enjoyed reading Time Traveller's Wife last year. Really, really enjoyed that, and The Colour Purple. They were two of my favourite fiction books last year. Any tips for constant nausea? One of them would actually be Diet Coke. Not sponsored. Whenever my tummy feels a bit funny or I have a bit of a sore tummy, drinking something fizzy really helps because it helps me burp. And it just helps, like, I don't know, move things around. I don't know, it's really gross, but I find that fizzy just really helps me. But my number one tip, 100%, is to go to the doctor and ask them for anti-nausea tablets. If you explain to them that you feel nauseous a lot of the time, they will prescribe you anti-nausea tablets. I think I went in like maybe 6 months ago to the doctor crying, like, please, I am just feel nauseous all the time. It's completely just like taking over my life. And she was like, okay, here's some anti-nausea tablets, like, please leave my office. And yeah, it worked, so that's my advice. The tablet I'm on is called cyclizine hydrochloride. And oh my god, it works so well. You also don't have to take it every day, you just take it when you're starting to feel nauseous, and within like half an hour to an hour you will feel so much better. I'm guessing if you ask that question that you have emetophobia as well, and I have done loads of videos on emetophobia, so if you want to watch them then feel free to watch them. The next question I got was, and I got a lot of questions about my new tattoo, so how did you manage to get tattooed with anxiety and agoraphobia? Yeah, like I said, I got a lot of questions on my new tattoo. I got a new tattoo and she is the most beautiful tattoo in the world and I love her so much. I'm just going to quickly walk you through getting my tattoo. Me and Drew had a day off together, and we never usually have days off together because he works 9 to 5 Monday to Friday, and I'm self-employed, so I kind of just do hours randomly throughout the week. I'm trying to do 9 to 5, but it's not working. Anyway, that wasn't the question. We had a day off together, so we went out for lunch, and then we were like, should we just go to the tattoo parlour and see when they have availability and stuff like that? And so we went in, and she was like, the woman that Drew wanted to tattoo him was there, and she was like, do you want to just get tattooed now? And he was like, okay. And I was like, what? Oh my god. And I was like, fine, just tattoo me as well. And I had like saved things that I wanted on my Pinterest, and so I was like, can you just tattoo this on me? She was like, yeah. And Drew went first. So while Drew was going, I went home, went to the toilet, and I got anti-nausea tablets and Valium, and I took an anti-nausea tablet, which really helped, and I also took a little bit of Valium. I just want to stress so much here that I never ever usually take Valium and stuff like that unless I'm having a serious panic attack or I'm doing something that's really, really, really scary. But for full transparency, I did take a little bit of Valium because I wanted to be able to be totally calm, and I was starting to panic a bit, and I knew that it was just going to end in panic. So yes, I did, but also, like, I really, really want to stress that I literally hardly ever take it. The last time I took it was actually in November when it was my cousin's wedding, and that was only because it was really far away, and then before that, I honestly don't really remember. So yeah, that's what I did. But also, I wanted to say that my tattoo parlour is very, very close to me. It's probably like a 7 or 8 minute walk, so I knew that at any point if I felt unwell, I could just get up and leave. Also, while I was away, Drew told the tattoo artist that I have panic attacks, and if I get up and leave, then that's why, etc, etc. So that helped as well. Although I didn't know he was going to do that, it did help knowing that she knew. And I think just having control and being like, I am in control of the situation. If I need to get up and leave, then I will get up and leave. And maybe going with somebody that can explain to your tattoo artist, if you just get up and leave, why you've had to do that. Same kind of similar question, how did you go on a first date while dealing with anxiety and agoraphobia? I actually did a whole video on this, on like my Tinder experience with anxiety and my first date with Drew. We've not really talked about our first date, so maybe we can do a whole video on talking about our first date, because Drew also has anxiety, so it was very, very, very scary for both of us in different ways. Drew's anxiety is more social, whereas mine's more situational. So, sorry, this lighting must be really, really annoying for you, is it? You're here for the prime content, not the lighting, I presume. My main tip would be, if you are doing online dating, which I know a lot of people do nowadays, is to just explain your situation and say, I have agoraphobia, or I have panic disorder, or I have OCD, whatever it is that you want to share, and just say, I need to, I really would love to meet you, and I'm really excited about going on a date with you, but I have these boundaries. And I was on Tinder for a wee while before I met Drew, and I said to a few people that I was talking to, that I had agoraphobia and etc, etc, and a lot of people were kind of a bit like, didn't really understand. They were like, oh, why can't you just come and meet me in town and all the rest of it. So I think when that happened, I would kind of be like, that's a red flag. I don't want to be in a relationship or get to know somebody that has that mindset. But with Drew, I honestly, as soon as I saw Drew's photo, I was like, I know that something's going to happen with us. It was really weird. I was like, I just really feel like something's going to happen. I don't know why. And I never felt like that with any other like profile that I saw. But with his, I was like, we're going to go out. I'm going to swipe right. Everything's going to be fine. But yeah, before I met Drew, I told him like loads of stuff. I think I actually showed him my YouTube videos before I even met him. And I just want to say that literally within 2 minutes of meeting Drew, I felt absolutely fine. It was just a thought more than anything about what if I have a panic attack, what if, but I had things set up and I had exit plans and all the rest of it. So yeah, I can talk about my whole first date in a different video if you'd like that. Next question is, girl, how do I get revenge on the bitch that keeps trying to steal my boyfriend? I don't like this question. I'm just going to say it right now. If there is a girl that is trying to steal your boyfriend, I think you need to talk to your boyfriend. This sounds like a difficult situation, generally, But I think if you are truly 100% secure and you're being made to feel like super loved and super secure and all the rest of it, then I think you wouldn't be as worried about it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just find this question difficult because I know that, you know what, it's just really hard that there's so many girls that are like hating on each other because of men. That's the bottom line. I don't like that. Girls go through such similar experiences and girls go through a lot of shit, and the number one thing that we have in common is that we have so many more things in common than we do have apart that are different. I think if you're in a situation where you're feeling really paranoid and you feel like there's a girl that's trying to steal your boyfriend and all the rest of it, you need to have good, honest communication, open communication with your boyfriend. I don't think it's necessarily about that girl, although if that girl is doing that, then that's not very kind of her. We can move on from that. But I think just generally, I want to take that question and raise the point of let's just be more loving to each other as women. I think that in the media, in films, in books, all the rest of it, women are constantly being put against each other for competition of men, and I'm just sick of that, and I just think we need to be more loving towards women, and revenge is never something that's good. Ever, 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 ever. The next question is, what do you do when you work? Is it a full job? Is it a full-on job even though you suffer with anxiety? So I am self-employed now. I have been for like a couple of weeks. I'm still like trying to find my flow and my rhythm with it. I think it's because I was ill and then the week before was my birthday and all the rest of it, I've not really fully got into a rhythm. But I do social media for small businesses. Most of the businesses I do social media for are mental health related in some way. So they're either life coaches or counsellors or people that have like positive psychology businesses and all the rest of it. So I help them with their social media and marketing and stuff. So I just started that last year. I started working for a woman who then told her friends and her like people that she knows that have small businesses, and I've just got a few clients at the moment and I'm hoping to expand that. Then also obviously I have YouTube, which isn't obviously massive and I don't make loads of money from YouTube, but I've started to work with other people within the YouTube circle, which has been really, really fun, really, really exciting. But I think there was a second part to that question. Is it a full-on job even though you suffer with anxiety? No, it's not. I think because I get to choose my hours, it's really, really good, and I think for the stage of anxiety I'm in, it's a really, really positive thing because I still manage to have time to work on other things. But I work from a little co-working space which is really not far from me at all, so I go in there once or twice a week and just get my head down and chat to loads of lovely people that work there, and everyone there is self-employed as well, for the most part. So yeah, it's not too full on the job I work now. I have left my bar job because it was getting too full on, working like basically full-time hours self-employed, and then having to work on the weekends was just too much. So yeah, that's what I do. The next question we have is, does anxiety affect your sex life? Personally, I've noticed it has with mine. At the moment, not really, but it has done in previous relationships and previous times. Like, I think every human being goes through periods of having a higher or lower libido, which is totally normal. But I know that when you're on specifically anxiety medication can make your libido really, really, really low. Anxiety has so many side effects that absolutely everything that you experience through having anxiety is normal. Honestly, there is no abnormal when it comes to anxiety symptoms, so I bet there's loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of people that have anxiety that find that their libido's changed, or they've had struggles with sex when it comes to their anxiety and all the rest of it. One thing I'm going to say on this topic is, how do I word this? In previous situations that I've been in, I have thought it was my anxiety that made my sex life difficult, but it was other factors. That's all I'm going to say on that topic because I don't want to... That's all I'm going to say on that topic, but I think I just want to say, be aware of all of your surroundings, because it might not just be anxiety that's making you feel that way. There might be a whole host of other reasons, and I think when we have anxiety disorders, it's easy to kind of just say that most things are because of our anxiety when it's actually not. So that's the one thing I'm going to say with that. Next question is, what's the most annoying thing about YouTube? I don't really have that many annoying things about YouTube. My most annoying thing on Instagram, which really annoys me, is when people message you like obviously copy and pasted messages. Like, I had one the other day that was like, hey, I noticed that you love to travel on your channel, so I was wondering if you want to be a part of my travel group or whatever it was saying. And I was like, one, I have agoraphobia. I literally never travel. Where are you getting that from? You've obviously just copy and pasted this message. But also it just really annoys me when people copy and paste like messages. Like, it's usually people that are trying to get you to join some kind of group so that you can pay money and that kind of thing. That really annoys me about Instagram. But YouTube, there's not really anything that annoys me, I don't think. I really like doing YouTube, and I literally hardly ever get horrible messages or anything like that. I've been really lucky, and everyone that kind of watches my videos for the most part is really lovely, and I really get on with, and I feel like we actually are friends, like a lot of us. The next question is, how do you deal with the pressure to look approachable on YouTube? A role model, thin, healthy, eco-responsible, always positive. That's a really good question. I never feel the need to be thin. I've never felt that need. You may be able to tell. I have always been a little bit, I wouldn't say like big, like I've just always been a little bit bigger than my peers, I think. Not like, I know that I'm not massive and all the rest of it, I'm not fishing for compliments, none of that, but I've never really felt like I needed to be a certain weight or I needed to be a certain body type. I've just always been fairly happy in my skin. But when it comes to things like being eco-responsible and always positive and a role model, maybe not a role model, I don't think I'm a very good role model, but healthy, eco-responsible and always positive, they're definitely things I felt. I think especially when it comes to when I'm doing like decluttering videos and stuff like that, which I really love filming and I know that they can be quite helpful. A lot of the time I feel like I'm kind of scared to do them because I'm scared that I'll do something wrong, or when I'm showing meals and stuff, like I'm not the healthiest of eaters, and yeah, people can just be really quick to judge. But again, for the most part, I have really nice people that watch my videos. The video I filmed that was like the 100 item declutter video, that was the most mixed comments that I got of people being like, please will you recycle this, or don't do that, and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, I just need to take a step back and be like, I'm doing the best that I can. When you have anxiety, it's also a lot more difficult to have the energy to do certain things, and I don't know, I think it's just really important to just take a step back and not let things get to you and know that you're doing your best. And the last question we're going to talk about is tell us your best and worst. Oh my god, the sun and that. We're blinded, guys. Let's move back a little bit. I'm sorry, this video has been so higgledy-piggledy. Also, I'm really loving the word higgledy-piggledy right now. The last question I'm going to have to read like this because the sun has just come out shining bright. The last question we have is, tell us about your best and worst experiences with having this channel. My best experience was definitely, I'm not allowed to like talk about too much, but I filmed a documentary 2 months ago, which is coming out next month. It's going to be out on Snapchat. I think that's as much as I can really say just now, but it was one of the best experiences of my life. It was so interesting, fun. Honestly, I absolutely adored it, and I would never have got the opportunity if it wasn't for YouTube. And the worst experience of having this channel, I had a couple of people make videos when I did a feminist video. I think it was years ago, and it was I just did a video, I think it was like 50 reasons I'm a feminist or whatever it was. I still stand by all 50 of those reasons, but I was just young and just like didn't think that people would see it, or I don't know. But there was a couple of guys that made videos, like there was one that was like an hour-long video about why I'm a bad person and why feminism's shit, basically. And they made an hour-long video on YouTube, and they actually like muffled their voice and they didn't show their face or anything, so it was a little bit scary. There's been a couple of moments that I've been quite scared, and there was one time that it was when I was like really young and naive and all the rest of it. And I actually had my number on Instagram and I didn't know I even had it there. I think it was just, must have been when I was set up, and somebody phoned me, and it was like an Australian number, and somebody phoned me and they were like panting down the phone, like being really creepy, and it was really, really scary. So I've had a couple of moments where I've been like really scared, but usually it's been from my own naivety and not, I'm being too trusting and stuff like that. But generally, most of my experiences on YouTube have been good, so just a couple of odd ones. They're all the questions I'm going to answer today. If you have any more questions on any topics at all, then feel free to leave them down below. Or if you don't feel comfortable making them public and open, you can always message me on Instagram and I can talk about them in another video. My voice does sound really, really husky and not in a sexy way. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video and I will see you soon. Bye!